Next, we have the mayor's report, and this is for the time frame of November 3rd to November 16th. Along with CAO Gary Septelli, I met with Valley representatives on November 3rd. We had budget meetings as council as a whole, which started on November 3rd with administration as well. Along with Deputy Mayor Valentino and Ron Matichuk and CAO Gary Septelli, we met with the Juniper Center Board on November 4th. Attended and brought greetings at the Remembrance Day service on November 11th. And I just wanted to speak briefly on that service, which was my first as a municipal official. And I must say I was quite humbled by the resounding support of the community at large in the service itself. And the intent of that service felt across the world on November 11th of the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month. And since that event, we've had the event in Paris, of which we are all well aware of those issues that have happened. We want to pass our condolences and our compassion to all those affected by those that were affected in the recent events, and we pray for all of those moving forward. Also attended various committee meetings that were held, the city school liaison meeting, the public works and infrastructure meeting, finance and administration meeting, legislative and intergovernmental affairs. And last, the reason I was delayed this evening is that I was attending the throne speech at the legislative buildings this afternoon, and I want to mention the specifically within the text of the throne speech, the skills and trades facility was specifically mentioned. Fort Thompson will be moving forward with that development of that facility. And although the restorative justice facility wasn't mentioned as a facility, the program or the potential program of restorative justice is on the radar for the province of Manitoba. So we will definitely be meeting with the Minister of Justice in the near future to again discuss our proposal regarding restorative facilities in our community. They also mentioned highway improvements north of Thompson to Nelson House and Split Lake, so we look forward to those. They also committed to the Truth and Reconciliation report and the 94 recommendations, and as a provincial government, looking at implementing those recommendations, and specifically mentioned ones that affected school children and the education of the history of our country and of our province in relation to the residential school situation. So that was a speech that was well received within the confines of the legislative building, and it was quite an honor to attend there, along with Chief Marcel Moody from NCN, and Chief Ron Evans from Norway House was also in attendance. So with that, that's my mayor's report. I'll go to council for anyone who attended city events in the last 2 weeks. Councillor Beyer.
First, I was privileged to attend the Aboriginal Veterans Day at Wapanak School on November the 6th. Really enjoy that in particular, and the scroll of names that were shown. I lost count, but the number of people from northern Manitoba, from First Nations communities and NACC communities really surprised me. It's the first time I have seen it compiled, and the scroll of names just went on and on. So if anybody ever wants to know, did northern Manitoba residents participate in the Second World War, the Korean War, prior to there being a Thompson? Yes, they did. The other thing that I attended was last Saturday evening, the RCMP ball for Detachment D. And it was funny. I'm not usually nervous to speak in front of people, but I was nervous. It was a special evening. The detachment was being recognized, has received recognition, but was recognized again for its award from the International Chiefs of Police Organization for community service. But I knew after speaking to Inspector Tunian, who actually also has a promotion now, that what the members really need to hear is that they are appreciated for the work they do every day when they've got their boots on the street every day. And so I had given that some thought, and I was thinking, not only do the RCMP deal with a myriad of problems, everything from noisy parties next door to public intoxication to drug dealing, but they have to go home to their own teenagers, wives, and infants, and be good community members there as well. In addition to their profession, they also participate as volunteers on a number of boards. They coach a number of sports, and it's the more thought I put into it, the more I realize that our RCMP in particular are a pretty special group of people. And I'll tell you what I told them at the end, no matter where their career takes them in the future, because they won't be spending their entire career in Thompson, that they have and they do make a difference to us here, a positive difference, and that I hope we will always appreciate that difference that they make. That's it.
Thank you. Councillor Foley?
Just to mirror a little bit with what Councillor Penny Byer was saying, I also attended the RCMP Gala. It was a phenomenal event. It was attended by, I believe it was 185 people were in attendance. It was great to be at such an event with a lot of people who have a lot of respect in the community. Our fire EMS members were there as well. Just to kind of put it into perspective with the award that was given to our detachment, there's 3 other recipients, one being the NYPD and another one in a detachment in Singapore. So it really gave the kind of company that the city of Thompson is now in internationally, which is rather eye-opening. It was a fantastic evening. It was well attended. The speakers were wonderful, and it just goes to show that a lot of the hard work and dedication with Project Northern Doorway has gotten that international recognition, and it's due to the stakeholders and everybody that's been involved in. Although I have not been involved in the stages of developing it, I'm pretty proud to be in a community that's got it under our belt.
Ellis?
I attended the grant or the kickoff of the Operation Red Nose campaign for this year. It was on Friday, on November 13th. It's the 17th year for Operation Red Nose in Thompson. They're going to be doing 10 nights beginning November 27th until December 31st. All those are weekend nights, I think, except for I think they do Boxing Day, I believe, and they do New Year's Eve. The honorary chair of this year's campaign is Bobby Montine. They hope to raise $10,000 through people that use the service often give donations to the service, so they hope to raise $10,000, and from that $10,000 they donate to youth programs in the community each year. They wanted me to pass on a challenge to council, so they're challenging council to participate in as volunteers for Operation Red Nose. So whether we put ourselves in as a bunch of teams or we do it individually, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Councillor Smook?
I also attended the Remembrance Day service, and it was such a privilege to see so many councillors and administration at the service there. It was, and the number of people just in general from Thompson. And our 2 delegations tonight, it would be remiss to add again that just the scope of their work for the North and the Boreal Forest and what it means to us, along with the RCMP recognition, Thompson is coming of its own. And then I'm doing my bagging service on behalf of the Salvation Army. They need help in their kettle campaign. They were down dollars last year. It's Thursday to Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., 2-hour shifts. You can call Cheryl at 307-0709, and all monies collected stay in Thompson. And if they do not meet their goals this year, there is big danger of the food bank closing next year as early as June. So please contact Cheryl. For fellow council members, I do happen to have sign-up sheets that feel free to see me tonight after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors or comments or tenants? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Byer, second. Councillor Smook. All in favor?